Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Kissy. I started doing a reading and I wanted to share the reading with you. So I have also a dream that I wrote down and I want to share that because the symbology is very significant, or well, let's just say that astrologically speaking, the energies are aligned with this. At least for me, I think that these energies are aligned with this dream. I don't know where to begin, to be quite honest, because I want to I want to do things in order, in the order in which I received the message, but I don't want to lose the potency of this message, okay? So I asked the question, if I'm incorrect, then what is correct? Just very plain and simple. If I am incorrect in my way, then what is the way that is correct? According to, when I do this, right? I wait for the answer. I'm going to just say it the way it came through, okay? Contentment in control. Walking away from emotional disconnections. In other words, connections that are not emotionally open or emotionally receptive. But then it's like, but going towards unfulfilling, or it wasn't unfulfilling. Hopeless situations, but moving towards then hope. It feels like, okay, when I'm asking what's the correct way, it says be content in controlling, walking away from emotions that are connections that are unfulfilling, and move towards hopeless situations. Now for me, clearly this is like, what the hell are you talking about? It doesn't sound, positive. It sounds very like it sounds destructive as opposed to constructive. But that's just my opinion so far. I'm going to continue what happened here. I guess I could always put the camera to show the cards, but I didn't want to lose the momentum. So then it says, quickly move towards the tower, quickly move towards the destruction of your unfulfillment. Then I asked, so who's saying this? And I can show you. I'll just pull the one card. And then it shows death is saying this. Death says this. And then it says death to those that don't know victory. And I don't think it's saying death to those people that haven't achieved victory. I think it's saying, who is saying this? The death spirit attached to those that have not experienced victory. And who is this that has not experienced victory? And it points to this King of Cups. Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, but I did get Scorpio. So this could just be Pluto energy. Okay, a message from Pluto, like from the perspective of Pluto, if their purpose is transformation, someone that thinks transforming is evil or bad is going to look at that as wrong. But if death says this is a sacred transformation, this is a positive thing, it's seen bad, but it's positive, or you're afraid and that's keeping you from seeing. Okay, I'm going too much into it. However, it did say, so contentment and control of moving away from hopeless situations, okay? Contentment, controlling, moving away from hopeless situations. Move quickly towards your tower, towards your self-undoing. And with the Ace of Cups in reverse, it's like, do not give your love, do not give your energy. And the one saying that is this Death card. Put death to what has not been victorious in your life. Put death to the things that you can say is hopeless. Finalize that. And this message, I feel, is coming from this Scorpio King, because according to the Scorpio King of Death, it brings you the Wheel of Fortune. It changes your fate, or it changes your fortune. So then it shows this change is going to bring less conflict or no conflict, and it's going to bring camaraderie, friendships, and it's going to make you happy. Are you hearing this? For somebody that thinks opposite of this, it's going to sound ridiculous. You have to be able to hear it without the filter of, this is bad. Because you see the devil, and the first thing you're going to think of is be content in evil. But no, be content in the control, self-control, and the control that you have to walk away from situations that do not fulfill you. Be content in that. Walking away from situations that are not your people, not your fun, not your team. This is Aquarius energy. Be content in walking away from the hopeless and move quickly. Opportunity. Create the opportunities to self-undo, meaning to undo that, and stop leaking your energy, stop leaking your emotional energy. Stop giving your love away, stop giving your heart away, stop caring, and put death to those losses. Says the King of Cups, okay? Because it will change your fortune. And it will end conflict. And it will bring friendships that will make you happy. Okay. So then the question was, why does this King of Cups say this? Why does he say, why is this the correct way? If my way is incorrect, my way is, I wouldn't say that I would have put it that way, right? I would have probably put it in a more bubbly way, a more positive way, a less cynical, sinister way. Get what I'm saying? Less negative from my perspective. But it's not that I don't understand what he's saying. It's that what he is saying sounds very polarized, right? It sounds very like negative, if you want to put it that way. The way the message first is, the way it first sounded, just direct. When you get it direct, like on the surface, it's impactful. Like, what? Why would you tell me that? Why would you say something so, why would that perspective be so negative? It sounds so negative. And then as you go deeper into it, it starts to sound like more reasonable, or more like, wait, what? Okay, you got my attention. Let's go a little deeper into that. It'll change my fortune. I mean, everybody could agree, be content in your power. But when you see the devil, be content in devil energy. The idea of devil versus the understanding of power and what the devil means in terms of not the power over you, but the power that you have over yourself, your whole self. And it shows in your willingness to walk away of deceiving individuals, or individuals that operate in darkness. Yes, you can be content in the power that you have to walk away from that, things that are hopeless, because it will transform and it will change your fortune. So why does he say this? He says this because with the Ace of Wands, he says, don't start or invest in anything in order to balance things. Things of betrayals, in betrayals in love and truth, avoids judgment. Now again, on the surface, that sounds a little bit manipulative, right? It sounds like, are you telling me hold on, are you telling me don't start anything? Like, I can't not start something, you know what I mean? Like, but what do you mean? Don't be passionate about something? Hello? How do we live without being passionate about something? Don't invest in something? What do you mean don't invest in something? Of course I have to invest in something. I mean, to me it sounds like, wait, I mean, you're asking me to stop. You're asking me not to. You're asking me don't. No, don't do it. Now I'm feeling a little bit personal. Hold on, who's telling me not to? No, but in order to balance, right? To balance. Let me stop talking. Back to the message. Back to the message. In order to balance betrayals in love and truth. In other words, so that you can receive the truth with no judgment. And then you shall receive stability, earthly stability. We're not talking about emotional and mental and all that. We're talking about real, material, assets, valuable assets that are going to make you stable on the earthly realm. And then it says it's still up for judgment. It's still, I mean, you need to be still in your perception with the Hangman. So it's like, we'll see. We'll see how that works out. So we'll see how that works out. That's where I left off. And when, I mean, the message came through rather quickly. It was like one sentence. Like every card was one word. Okay? That's why, and well, I don't feel like moving the camera, but I have like a group here, a message here, And then it was like this, it came in parts, right? But it was like, it just felt like one direct sentence. And then once I decided to share the message with you, I was breaking it down. But I hope the message came across. I might still have to like listen to this message myself again, because when dealing with polarities, there was a message that came through also with like alchemy. I don't remember right now. What was the... Oh, I do know. Do I have it here? Where did I see it? Alchemy. There was something to do with alchemy. Okay. Oh, back to this reading. A new beginning in investing in the moon. A new beginning in investing in the moon. So on September 7th, we do have the lunar eclipse in the axis of Pisces and Virgo. Okay? Very feminine energy. So invest a new beginning in maybe how we invest in the moon, how we invest in our emotional state, how we invest in our feelings, how we invest in what we consider darkness, how we invest in people emotionally. I feel like there's so much more. The Emperor. Yes, sir. I love the Emperor. Let me gotta get an attention for the Emperor. So much love for the Emperor, so much respect for him. True Emperor energy, for those that know. True Emperor, you just love to respect him. You love to respect him because you trust his authority, and you know his authority is in your best interest, and you know his authority is in your growth, in your happiness, in your safety, in your protection. There's nothing sexier than a man that protects you. There truly is not. Please know this. If you doubted it ever, there is nothing sexier than a man that protects you. And I say sexier, but realistically speaking, I mean, that's me joking mostly. But in reality, there is nothing more valuable or more for a woman that can feel a sense of the security that that emperor provides. There's nothing more important that he could do for her than to do that. Okay? All right, so the dream. The dream. Should I? Okay, so this was... no, okay. I was gonna share something from yesterday. So it's like yesterday was yesterday, not today. So let it go, right? Didn't we talk about something about letting things go? Self-control, letting it go. Okay. So the dream. I have to read it because, I mean, I could tell the story, but I feel like if I just tell it from memory, I'm going to leave parts out. And this, I wrote it already kind of hazy. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't straight after I woke up. And the problem if I do it when I just wake up, like I could tell, because I wake up often in between sleep, and I can come back right away and tell the story of the dream very clearly. But I assume in the moment, oh, I'll remember later. When you assume you're going to remember later, forget about it. Just forget it. Because at that point, you're going to be like, you wake up and you're like, damn it, I know I had that dream. But it really just, you know? So as soon as you get it, I know you're tired, you don't want to do it. In that moment, get your phone and record your dream. No matter how drowsy you sound, no matter how tired and sleepy you sound, no matter if you fall asleep in the middle of recording your dream, and you have like an hour's worth of just use. Ah, yes. I did that. Mm-hmm. It wasn't fun to hear myself. Okay? Anyways, so the dream. All right. So there was a knock on the door, and I looked through the peephole. I don't know if there's a better word for that. A little peephole. And I look through the door, but what I see is the back of myself looking through the peephole. So as I look, I'm not seeing what's on the other side of the door. I'm seeing the image as if a camera, as if I was looking at a TV screen with a camera behind me watching me look out the door. Mm-hmm. And then, like a mirror, the reflection as I look through it, it now shows me looking and seeing myself. So I didn't right away turn around. I knew when I saw the image, I'm like, that's me. You know, I'm looking at myself from behind myself. But then, as if the camera flipped the image to see myself as if I was looking at a mirror, as if the mirror was right in my face, and I'm seeing myself looking through the peephole. I didn't open the door, but then I realized that there was the camera behind me. I realized, so who has the camera behind me? Who is this person? And when I turn around, all of a sudden there was these people there acting like they were in charge. You know, just like I turn around and suddenly these people are moving around in my house, and I'm like, what do you guys, like, who's doing this? Who are you people? Right? But it gave like an eerie vibe, like a negative, like, no, I don't want to say negative, but like if you had like government people that claim to have like an authority over you, like a control to be there, like you can't say no, and you're like, wait a second, what's going on here? This is my private space. Under whose authority are you? I don't want to bang on this table. Under whose authority are you trying to come in here? Like, wait a second, where's your warrant? Oh my God, where's your warrant? Oh my goodness. Okay, it's just a dream, folks. Just a dream. Where were we? Where was I? Oh, okay, there we were. So I turn around and somehow these people are inside acting like they're in charge or something. One of them places what seems to be like a fish tank in the middle of the living room. A big old fish tank, a real big square fish tank. And then, you know that, what do they call that ice that makes smoke? A lot of white smoke. You want to tell me? Say it.
Dry ice.
Dry ice. Thank you. Dry ice. Yes, dry ice all over the place. And it filled the room. And then I realized my daughter is there and she's with these folks. Why is my daughter with these folks? And I started to get suspicious. Why was she with them? Then I noticed there was a man. He was like an agent. He was a black man, very tall, strong, dressed in a suit, and he was an agent, and he was going into the bathroom. But I stopped him, and I'm like, no one goes into that bathroom. Like, that's my private space, right? And as I was getting him out, I wondered what they were looking for. So in the moment that he was trying to get in, it's like I said, it was bad enough that they're already in my house, but then they were like trying to distract me with the fish tank and the smoke. And I noticed behind me this agent was trying to go into the bathroom, like snooping around. So I started wondering, like, what were they trying to get? Or did he already get something? Did he find anything? Like, did he walk in there, grab something? So I was very suspicious about that. I didn't like that feeling at all. Then I hear like a radio show. This is a weird part, okay? So it's like a radio show. I hear like the conversation of like a radio show host. And somehow just with my thoughts, I asked the questions. I was asking questions in regards to like what was happening. Or I was I was explaining what was happening. But it felt like an interview. But it was happening in my thoughts, and I was hearing this while I was experiencing that other thing. Okay? So it was like having an interview in regards to the intrusion, and it was as if the radio station was in on it. It felt like they didn't just appear. A radio station didn't just appear overhead listening to my thoughts. They knew what was happening, and they just wanted to hear what I had to say about what was happening. So then there was this young lady. She was dark skinned, she looked Hispanic, she had curly hair, right? She was very curvy, brownish, gold hair. She had like she was a little thick, but she had like this attitude. She had this like diva attitude, like very boss, right? But you could tell she was younger. She was I don't know, I would say early 20s. Early 20s, but she looked grown. She didn't look like just getting out of her teen phase. She looked like a 30-year-old woman physically, but you knew that she was in her early 20s, and she had a lot of attitude. She had a very bully attitude. That was a problem. She came in with a very bully attitude to debate or to like enforce for me to submit to their searching and intrusion, contesting my position and my right. So very like, I'm in charge here, and but she wasn't saying that. It was almost like, you better do what we tell you, or like that kind of like she did not like me even questioning, not even questioning, like expecting why are you even here? Like, who the are you? And what the, you know what I mean? Like, you could put yourself in that situation and imagine that kind of like, excuse you, who are, and then for somebody to act like you don't have any right to what is yours, it's very weird. What do you call that? Abuse of power. That's what it felt like, an abuse of power. Like a very bully, abuse of power energy, trying to act like they know something you don't know, or trying to act like you're in the wrong, but they won't even tell you in regards to what. The more I talk about the dream, the more it's like, you start to put the pieces together and you're like, Okay, but anyway. Anywho. I felt suspicious, blah, 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 attitude. Okay. So so at the end, I remember this. At the end, the divine masculine was watching and listening, but it was as if he knew what was also happening in the background, but it was like quiet. So it's like there was no direct, like he wasn't a part of the dream in itself, in terms of like in what was going on, or even in the radio station stuff. It was like observing from a third perspective, so to speak. It's like, no, sitting here in the background, just watching all these dynamics playing out. And that was that. That was the dream. So with this Pisces lunar eclipse, well, Jupiter's in Cancer, Chiron in Aries, and Mars is in Libra. That's going to be significant. So the home, your individuality, your partnerships, and then with the Sun and Mercury in the South Node in Virgo, things that like letting go of, like we were talking about earlier. I want to say the old pain body is what comes through. Letting go of the old pain body. That's Eckhart Tolle terms. Eckhart Tolle wrote the book The Power of Now, and he talks a lot about the pain body, which is a real thing. It really is a real thing. You can, but I don't want to get into all that. So I think that's all, folks. I'll come back with another message. Take care.